Et je vais donc passer la parole à Monsieur le rapporteur pour 5 minutes.
Merci, Madam President, Commissioner, colleagues. As we know, Europe has not been very successful in dealing with the migration and refugee crisis. One part of the failure is the lack of an effective returns policy, the inability to send back those whose application has been rejected, who do not have the right to stay or enter the EU. Only some 40% of return decisions are actually enforced. It goes without saying that this seriously undermines the credibility and legitimacy of the asylum system in the eyes of our citizens. It also encourages the abuse of the asylum procedure by those who are not entitled to international protection, which in turn prevents us from using our limited resources on those who are in genuine need. This regulation establishes an improved and uniform European travel document for the return of illegally staying third country nationals. The current travel document for the return, based on the 1994 Council recommendation, is not widely accepted by third countries for reasons that include its inadequate security standards. The Commission proposes to harmonise the format, security features and technical specifications of the document. There have been certain misconceptions concerning the nature of this proposal, both in the Parliament and outside of it. I have been asked whether this means that it will no longer be possible to seek protection in Europe, or whether all immigrants will now be deported. This, of course, is not the case. This is a technical proposal and does not touch the rules concerning asylum, staying in the EU, or the issuance of the travel document. The aim is to ensure a more efficient implementation and enforcement of the existing legislation and decisions. This regulation is a small but important element of the EU asylum system, as it might improve the effectiveness of our cooperation with third countries in return matters. It also contributes to reducing the administrative and bureaucratic burden on both Member States and third countries. The agreement between the Parliament and the Council was concluded in one technical and one political trialogue. I wish to raise a few points. The Parliament managed to retain a reference to the need for the recognition of the travel document to be part of negotiations with the diplomatic representatives of third countries when discussing readmission. The Parliament kept its reference to the rights of the child through a reference to Article 19 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights and the need to respect international and EU legal obligations, notably the Charter. The agreement also reflects the current thinking on delegated acts under the interinstitutional agreement on better lawmaking. The travel document is not a magical solution to our difficulties with return. It is not known to what extent the lack of a harmonised document is a real reason behind the reluctance of some third countries to take back their citizens, and not merely an excuse. An important element of the agreement was securing a full review of the document outside of the normal review process, 2 years after the entry into force of the regulation at the latest, after which it is to be incorporated into the normal returns directive review. The agreement stresses the need to seek the recognition of the return document in the readmission agreements concluded by the European Union and by the Member States with third countries. For the desired effect to be achieved, it is important that the new document be put to use by all Member States. By updating the instruments we have, we are hopefully moving towards a European asylum system which is better equipped to deal with the challenges we face. At present, part of that challenge is ensuring an effective return rate. This agreement is a good result for the Parliament, and has hopefully produced a better travel document for the future, a document that is more widely used by member states and more widely recognized by third countries. I would like to conclude by thanking the Presidency, the Commission and all the shadows for their cooperation and contributions and efficient work on this legislative file, and I hope that everyone can support this outcome in tomorrow's vote. I will now pass the floor to my colleagues and the Commissioner. Thank you very much.
En effet, la parole est maintenant